So welcome back students to my course and from this video we will start our lecture for module 9, which will be dedicated to interpolation and geostatistics. And if you reach this module, I want to congratulate you because I can say that you already entered the beginning level of GIS skills, and from this video you're already make a step forward the intermediate level, because for this for ending this tutorial and module, you will already need the basic manipulation with ArcGIS, basic knowledge of theoretical concepts of geoinformation sciences, and if you're already able to finish this module, you already finished the beginning level of knowledge of ArcGIS. So let's start. So interpolation predicts values for cells in a raster from a limited number of sample data points. It can be used to predict unknown values for any geographic point data, such as elevation, rainfall, chemical concentration, and noise levels. For instance, like here, you have the input rainfall point data, which is measured in different locations, diverse, spatially distributed. And on the right side we can see the pixel output raster dataset, which is the interpolated rainfall surface according to this point data. So visiting every location in a study area to measure a phenomenon is usually nearly impossible and very expensive. Instead, you can measure the phenomenon at strategically dispersed sample locations, and predict values can be assigned to all other locations by means of an interpolation technique. So why, the first question someone can ask, why we need interpolation, why we cannot measure the surface in using other techniques. Well, there are some tools. You can measure the surface using other techniques, for instance, like measuring the aerial, taking aerial photos, satellite information, radars, lidars, etc. But for measuring some specific spatial data, for instance, it can be salinization rate, it can be pollution rate, right, of the air or soil, and it can be species distribution. We need interpolation method, because we cannot measure each point, each location. It's financially and timely very consuming, and in this case interpolation come to help us. ArcGIS Geostatistical Analysis Extension. ArcGIS Geostatistical Analysis Extension is a package of tools which helps us to deeply analyze our surface according to our input, mostly field data, and helps us to make advanced geostatistical analysis and interpolation. So you can use other tool. You can open geostatistical analysis in your menu toolbox, like here, right? Using opening the extension, but you do remember that you should have the extension in your menu panel. We can check it. Anyway, you can activate it in your menu toolbox, and also you can work with the geostatistical analysis tools via ArcToolbox. ArcGIS Geostatistical Analysis Extension offers a suite of interactive tools to visually investigate your data prior to analysis. ArcGIS Geostatistical Analysis Extension offers This allows you to investigate the distribution of your data and look for outliers, high histogram, QQ plots, look for systematic trends in your data like trend analysis, explore local variability and clusters for a Voronoi map, visualize spatial correlation within and between datasets, semi-virograms, cross-covariance clouds. So you can explore your data by activating geostatistical analysis and opening the explore data. So here we can see the histograms, normal QQ plot, Voronoi map, trend analysis, etc. So before using this geostatistical wizard, right? It is better if you will explore your data with these tools. It will help you to understand better your input data and choose more appropriate interpolation methods. So this is how it looks. This is, for instance, a histogram, right? I think if you already have knowledge about basic statistics, you should know about the histogram. So it shows the distribution of your data. So this is approximately mean, right? This area mean, or sometimes it can be median. So in average, this is a number of such kind of information, right? For instance, number of points which have from minimum to maximum. This is a minimum number. This value, for instance, this range have of values have the minimum number of such kind of input data, while this one is the maximum number. So also can use trend plots in 3DC. Normal QQ plot, it shows you the is your data is distributed normally like linear trend, or it's just spatially has a very large variance. It's also semi-viogram cloud and Voronoi map. So in ArcGIS and in general, there are two types of interpolation techniques. The first one is deterministic, and the second one is geostatistical. So deterministic methods are often widely used because they were opened and invented more earlier than geostatistical tools, and also they are simple to understand and easily calculated. So this can be global polynomial interpolation, local polynomial, inverse distance weighted method like IDW, right, and radial basis functions. While geostatistical is mostly much more complicated because they measure the spatial autocorrelation, and the major geostatistical analysis is, in case if you don't know, it's Kriging method here, and these are all the subtypes of Kriging methods: ordinary, simple, universal, indicator, probability, disjunctive, aerial interpolation, and empirical Bayesian. So during our tutorial we will work on each this type of interpolation techniques. You will see the differences, you will see the similarities, and you should remember that there is no the best interpolation technique. Of course, many GIS specialists prefer to use Kriging method for interpolation because it shows the smaller residuals, more accurate spatial modeling of your surface according to your input data, more precise, right, more correct. But it depends on various factors. It depends on the number of your input data. It depends on the variance and spatial distribution of your data. It depends the type of your data, etc., etc., etc. So you should decide for yourself which type of interpolation technique is best suited to you to the result you want to achieve during the interpolation. So at first let's discuss the IDW. Inverse distance weighted is a method of interpolation that estimates cell values by averaging the values of observation data points in the neighborhood of each processing cell. This method assumes that the variable being mapped decreases in influence with distance from its sample location. The closer a point is to the center of the cell being estimated, the more influence or weight it has in the averaging process. So IDW allows you to control the influence of the observation points upon the interpolated values based upon their weight and their distance from the output point. So here is the center of the so these are the input points which are taken into account while calculating the output raster value. And this, for instance, this point has more influence to the output result than, for instance, this point, because it has a bigger distance, right? So the power parameter in the IDW interpolation controls the significance of the surrounding points upon the interpolated value. Power is the exponent of distance. A higher power results in less influence from distance points. Distance points receive lower weights. However, lower powers tend to treat all the sample points equally, resulting in a smoother surface. A specified number of points or all points within a specified radius can be used to determine the output value for each location. Spline method, the second type of deterministic method. The spline interpolation method is a general-purpose interpolation method that fits a two-dimensional minimum curvature surface through the input points. A spline passes exactly through the input data points to minimize certain aspects of curvature. Conceptually, it is like bending a sheet of rubber to pass through the points, while minimizing the total curvature of the surface. It fits a mathematical function to specified number of nearest input points while passing through the sample points. This method is best for generating gently varying surfaces such as elevation, water table heights, or pollution concentration. So when you try to make a surface modeling of elevation, water table heights, pollution concentrations, it's better to use spline method. So there are two types of splines, tension and regularized. So regularized yields a smooth surface and smooth first derivatives. Tensions tunes the stiffness of the interpolant according to the character of the model phenomenon. So we can see here on this graph, right, that there is a slight difference in results between tension and regularized spline. So in some cases, regularized spline can have the bigger results, bigger pixel values, while in other cases, like here, right, the tension method can give you a bigger output results. But anyway, they're close to each other and both refer to spline methods and have this same basic methodology. So kriging. This refers to the geostatistical type of interpolation, right? Kriging is an advanced geostatistical procedure that generates an estimated surface from a scattered set of points with z-values. Unlike other interpolation methods in the interpolation toolset, to use the kriging tool effectively involves an interactive investigation of the spatial behavior of the phenomenon represented by the z-values before you select the best estimation method for generating the output surface. Spatial autocorrelation quantifies a basic principle of geography. Things that are closer are more alike than things farther apart. This is called spatial autocorrelation method. So basic principle of spatial autocorrelation, things are more closer than alike than things farther apart. So the image below shows the pairing of one point, this point, right, the red point, right, this is in the center, with all the measured locations. This process continues for each measured point. So kriging method just makes this all spatial autocorrelation with closer and far points in your input, right, within a certain distance or actually sometimes it makes the autocorrelation with all points in your input data. For instance, you have 1000 input points, right? And each the spline method takes each point, input point, and makes a spatial autocorrelation with each other point, right? And this process follows the same, and the process is repeated on the following step. So Kriging method is considered as more precise and accurate, but it takes a long time and requires your high processing level of your computer, so you should have advanced computer characteristics and space and time as well. So Kriging assumes that the distance or direction between sample points reflects a spatial correlation that can be used to explain variation in the surface. The Kriging tool fits a mathematical function to a specified number of points, or all points within a specified radius, to determine the output value for each location. Kriging is a multi-step process. It includes exploratory statistical analysis of the data, variogram modeling, creating the surface, and optionally exploring a variant surface. Kriging is most appropriate when you know there is a spatially correlated distance or directional bias in the data. It is often used in soil science and geology. So if you're going to model your soil data or geology, prefer to use Kriging method. So do not forget that your data should be spatially correlated or have a directional bias in the data. So so this is the end of our lecture. I ask you, I advise to you just to make more deep information search in internet, and you can also make research some in ArcGIS desktop in internet in their website, or you can use your software ArcGIS help, right? So to read more about this geostatistical analysis toolset, and also about the principle of work of various geostatistical methods, interpolation methods. And with the next video, we'll start our practical tutorial.